Okay, get ready to have your mind blown. Because
Okay.
today,
Was it that kind of deep dive?
you know it.
Really?
And hit me. We're diving into the world of out-of-body experiences
Oh, well,
with William Buhlman's book,
out-of-body experiences, so...
Adventures Beyond the Body.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I've heard...
Have you ever...
dabble in that a little bit, but yeah.
So, what's wild about Buhlman
Yeah.
is he started as a total skeptic.
Really?
Like, hardcore,
But-
firmly planted in the physical world, thought astral projection was a bunch of hooey.
Like astral projection, please. Okay.
And that's what makes his story so interesting.
Right, because
Because he's coming at it from...
he had to have been convinced.
Yeah.
Some pretty compelling evidence that.
And it all started with, like, a casual conversation, right?
Yeah.
He's talking to his neighbor.
Oh, is that how it starts? Just like that?
Yeah.
No.
Neighbor casually mentions having an out-of-body experience.
Mhm.
And Buhlman, instead of just brushing it off, something in him was like,
Yeah, like what was it?
it sparked his curiosity.
Interesting.
So he finds a book on OBE techniques
Okay.
and decides to try it out.
Now, did it work right away?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Early attempts were more like these hazy, dreamlike experiences,
Okay.
but he sticks with it.
Yeah.
And gradually things get clearer.
Okay.
He describes this intense vibration like his whole body's humming.
Mm.
And then, boom, he's looking down at his own body.
Oh, wow. And he's...
Talk about a wake-up call.
Yeah, I mean...
Talk about an experience that'll make you rethink things.
So, like, what do you think that was like for him? To have that moment.
You know, it's funny, we have these ideas about the world,
Mm.
and we think we know, and then something comes along and just completely shatters it. They're like, you can never go back to thinking the same way again. Like, how could you?
Right. Yeah.
And I imagine that's what that first experience must have been like for him. Like, whoa, okay, what else don't I know?
Right. And, like, everything you thought you knew about consciousness and reality is just out the window.
Yeah, because if that can happen, then what else is possible?
Exactly.
Right. It kind of opens up this whole can of worms, doesn't it?
Wait.
So what did he do with that?
So he talks about how it felt to actually be outside of his body.
Okay.
And he said it was more real
It's interesting.
and vivid than any dream.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't just visual.
Okay.
When he returns to his body, he feels this tingling sensation, like spreading throughout his body.
Like an energy coming back or something.
Exactly. Like his energy was reintegrating, and it just solidified that this experience was something tangible.
So it's not just in his head.
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't just his imagination.
Interesting.
And so from there, his adventures really begin.
So this is just the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Like this guy encounters his deceased uncle.
Oh, hold on. Deceased uncle. Like
Yeah.
gone, passed away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deceased uncle.
Okay.
But here's the thing. The uncle had died at an older age, but he appeared youthful and vibrant.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So
As if time, like aging.
so it's like a different rules out there.
Different rules in these realms.
Okay.
Which makes you think about our understanding of life and death in a totally new light.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about all that, you know?
Right.
What we think we know or what we've been told. So it wasn't just his uncle. Did he meet anyone else out there?
So it gets even wilder.
Oh, okay.
He talks about exploring this park-like setting.
Okay, a park? I could picture that.
He meets a girl who calls him a traveler.
Traveler? What does that mean? She knows he's, like, not supposed to be there or something.
Right. Like, that's the thing. It suggests that maybe these non-physical realms have beings who are aware of interdimensional travelers, like Buhlman.
So he's not alone out there. There are others.
Who knows who else or what else is out there?
Yeah, that's a little unnerving, right? I mean, parks are nice, but who knows what else is lurking around.
Right. And hold on. He also has that strange encounter in his own bedroom.
In his bedroom. What happened?
So he walks back into his bedroom while out of body,
Okay.
and there's a man in there.
Like a stranger. Just in his room.
And Buhlman's immediate reaction is self-defense.
Oh, wow.
Almost instinctive.
Like it was just fight or flight.
Yes. And it's a reminder that
The gut reaction.
these experiences aren't always peaceful. Nature walks and chats with deceased relatives.
No kidding. So it's not all sunshine and roses out there.
It's not.
Okay, so it sounds like you gotta be careful. But I'm still stuck on the whole, he just like walks back into his room. I
Right.
thought he was traveling to these places.
Okay, so that's what's so fascinating.
Yeah.
He initially thought he was traveling to different places.
Right, like physically moving.
But he later realized it wasn't lateral movement. He was going inward.
What? Inward, like where?
deeper into himself.
Oh,
He
it's like
describes
a
accessing a second energy body,
second energy body.
lighter, more expansive
Okay, hold on.
than our physical form.
Okay.
And this, he believes, is the vehicle for these deeper explorations.
So instead of physically going to these places, he's going, like, deeper into layers of himself.
Exactly. Layers of consciousness.
And that's how he's doing it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
this is where he starts to connect his experiences to this bigger picture,
This is blowing my mind a little bit.
to the universe
Yeah.
as this multidimensional energy structure.
Like we're just scratching the surface of what's really out there.
Yes. And he compares it to a tunnel
A tunnel.
with different energy levels, each separated by these invisible boundaries that he calls energy membranes.
Energy membranes. All right, I'm going to need a little more explanation on that one. What are energy membranes?
Okay, so imagine a tunnel, but instead of concrete walls separating, there are these energy membranes separating different levels.
Okay, like floors in a building or something.
Like floors in a building.
Okay.
And think of it this way. Remember turning the dial on an old radio,
Yeah, like trying to find a station, yeah?
searching for different stations. Each station broadcasts at a specific frequency.
Right.
Imagine these membranes are similar to that,
Okay.
separating different frequencies of reality.
Whoa, okay. Different frequencies of reality. So there are other realities out there just vibrating at different frequencies, and these membranes are what separate them. So we're just tuned in to one specific frequency, but there are others all around us.
Our physical world exists at one frequency.
Right, right.
But there are countless others vibrating all around us.
Okay, and these membranes are like filters, I guess.
Yes.
Keeping us from seeing them.
And Buhlman believes that he's figured out how to bypass those filters.
That's incredible, but how?
He believes that consciousness itself exists across this spectrum of frequencies. And through techniques like he was practicing, we can learn to tune in to those other realities.
So it's like we're all capable of being multidimensional channel surfers. We just need to figure out how to use the remote.
It's mind-blowing to think
And he thinks he has.
that there could be entire realities existing at different frequencies.
It's like they're hidden in plain sight.
Yes, hidden in plain sight.
Yeah. So if we could tap into those other frequencies, what then? Like, what did he find there?
That's the question, right? And that's what we'll explore further.
I'm hooked.
He starts talking about these thought-responsive environments.
Thought-responsive environments. What are those?
And that's where things get really wild.
Okay. Lay it on me. I'm ready.
Imagine walking into a room, and with your mind,
Okay.
you can rearrange the furniture.
Just like that.
That's kind of what he's describing in these thought-responsive environments.
You're kidding. So, like, if you don't like where the couch is, you just think move, and it moves.
He suggests that in these realms, our thoughts have a direct impact on the reality that we experience.
That's wild. So our imagination basically becomes reality.
Yes.
That's both the mating and terrifying at the same time. I mean, imagine the possibilities, but also the potential for things to go wrong.
And that's where it gets even more mind-boggling.
Oh, wait.
Because he says it's not just about individual thoughts shaping reality, but the collective consciousness.
Okay, so like our combined thoughts and beliefs are actually shaping these realms?
He believes that shared beliefs and expectations can create a kind of consensus reality.
Oh, that's interesting. So like if enough people believe in a certain version of heaven, for example, does that make it real in this non-physical realm?
That's what Buhlman proposes.
That is wild. So we're all kind of like world building together, whether we realize it or not.
He describes encountering these thought forms, these energetic constructs that were clearly created by the collective beliefs of large groups of people.
So it's not just random. Our thoughts are actually creating tangible things in these realms.
It's like our collective imagination has the power to shape these unseen realms.
That's incredible. But what about people who don't necessarily subscribe to any specific beliefs? What do they experience?
That's a great question, and he actually addresses that.
Okay, good, because I was wondering about that.
He suggests that there are also natural environments in these realms,
Okay.
places less influenced by thought and more akin to our physical world.
So it's like a baseline reality.
Sort of, though still operating at a higher frequency.
Okay.
He describes serene landscapes, vast open spaces, even a bustling city that seemed to pulse with energy.
So there's variety out there.
It's like there's this whole ecosystem of non-physical existence just waiting to be explored.
This is really making me rethink everything I thought I knew about, well, everything.
That's a lot to take in.
It is. But it's fascinating. So he's out there exploring these realms. Did he ever feel lost?
He talks about moments of disorientation.
That makes sense. That means it's a whole new world.
Especially early on. But he emphasizes the importance of developing what he calls non-physical awareness.
Non-physical awareness. So like a different way of perceiving and understanding these realms.
It's about learning to navigate these realms with the same confidence and awareness that we have in the physical world.
Okay, so it's like learning a new set of rules for a whole new game.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Did he ever say how you develop this non-physical awareness? Like you just snap your fingers and suddenly you're tuned in?
It's like learning any new skill.
Yeah.
Takes practice. And Buhlman outlines various techniques for inducing OBEs and developing this non-physical awareness.
So it's not just about having the experience, it's about learning how to navigate it consciously.
He stresses that it's not about any special ability, but tapping into a natural human potential.
That's empowering.
So you're telling me we could all become multidimensional explorers if we just put in the time and effort?
That's a pretty amazing thought.
It really is, right?
Yeah. I mean, if that's true, it kind of changes everything, doesn't it?
It really does. And he provides a roadmap for doing just that.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What's the roadmap look like?
He talks about using visualization techniques, affirmations.
Okay, that makes sense.
Even specific sound frequencies.
Sound frequencies. Like listening to certain sounds can help you separate from your body.
That's what he proposes.
Wow. Okay, I need to know more about this.
He was particularly interested in the work of Robert Monroe.
Okay, I've heard of him.
Who pioneered the use of binaural beats.
Right, those are those special audio recordings that sync up your brainwaves.
That synchronize brainwave activity to induce altered states of consciousness.
Okay, so instead of spending years meditating in a cave, we can just pop in some headphones and let the sound waves do the work.
It's not quite as simple as that.
Oh, all right, there's a catch.
While the technology can be helpful, Buhlman stresses it's not a magic bullet.
So it's not just a passive thing.
The key, he says, is to approach these techniques with a playful, experimental attitude.
So be open, try things out, see what works.
It's about finding what resonates with you, what helps you to relax, to focus.
It sounds like it's a very personal journey.
It really is.
You can't just download an app and suddenly you're having an out-of-body experience. Although, that would be pretty cool.
It would be very cool.
But it sounds like it takes more than that.
It takes more than that, but it's about ultimately shifting your awareness beyond the limitations of your physical senses.
So it's not just about the techniques, it's about cultivating a certain mindset.
Yes.
I can see how that would be important.
And that's what we'll dive deeper into.
Okay, because I'm fascinated by this idea that we can train our minds to access these other realms.
Absolutely.
I mean, if that's true, then the possibilities are truly endless.
Exactly. And so beyond the techniques, what did he learn about himself and the nature of reality through these explorations?
Yeah, that's what I'm really curious about.
He talks about experiencing this profound sense of interconnectedness.
Interconnectedness.
Realizing that we're not isolated individuals, but part of this vast web.
So it's like we're all connected on some deeper level.
Of energy and consciousness.
That's beautiful. And kind of mind-blowing at the same time.
He suggests that OBEs offer a glimpse into the true nature of reality, a reality far more expansive and interconnected than we can possibly imagine from our limited physical perspective.
So it's like we're looking at the world through a tiny peephole, and OBEs allow us to swing open the door and see the whole picture.
And that's what's so compelling about his story.
It really is. It makes you wonder, what else is out there waiting to be discovered?
Exactly. And did he encounter other beings on his journey?
Besides his uncle.
Besides his uncle, yeah.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. Who else did he meet out there?
He describes encountering these beings of pure light.
Beings of pure light? Like, what does that even look like?
Entities that seem to radiate wisdom and compassion.
Wow.
He also mentions encountering beings that were less defined.
Less defined? Like what? Shadows or something?
More like fleeting energies or thought forms.
Okay, so a real mix of characters out there.
And these encounters, he suggests, challenged his understanding of life, death, the very nature of consciousness.
Okay, now I really want to know more about these encounters.
All right, so we'll definitely dive deeper into that.
I can't wait. This is fascinating.
It's a lot to take in, but it's definitely fascinating and definitely worth exploring further.
Agreed. This deep dive is definitely living up to its name.
And I think that's a good place to pause for now.
Okay.
But don't worry, we're just getting started.
All right, I'm ready for part 2.
So, last time, we left off with this idea of beings of light, thought forms, a whole other world out there. Did he Did he ever feel afraid during these encounters?
You know, it's interesting you should ask that because he does talk about experiencing a range of emotions, including fear and uncertainty, especially early on.
Yeah, I imagine.
Right. I mean, you're stepping into the unknown here.
It'd be like walking into a dark forest. You don't know what's out there.
Exactly. But he says as he gained more experience, he learned to approach these encounters with more of a sense of curiosity and discernment.
Instead of just being afraid.
Right, not just reacting out of fear.
So, like, be cautious, but don't let fear control the experience.
He emphasizes the importance of setting clear intentions before venturing into these realms, and also boundaries, like, this is okay, this is not okay.
Like energetic boundaries.
Yeah. Because, he believes that our thoughts and emotions act as a kind of energetic signature.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so we attract experiences that resonate with our vibrational frequency.
Okay, so if you go in with fear and trepidation, you're more likely to attract negative or unsettling experiences.
That's what he suggests.
But if you go in with an open mind and a sense of curiosity...
That's when the magic happens, right?
Exactly.
Or, well, not magic, but you know what I mean. You're more likely to have a positive experience. Did he ever have to deal with anything, negative or unpleasant?
So he did have that unsettling experience in his bedroom.
Oh, right, with that man in his room.
And that experience really underscores the importance of awareness and discernment.
Yeah.
When you're navigating these realms.
Because not everything out there is friendly, I guess.
He stresses that not all beings we encounter in these non-physical realms are benevolent.
Okay, that's good to know.
And it's crucial to trust your intuition.
To trust your gut.
And to set those clear boundaries that we were just talking about.
Right, like this is my space, stay out kind of thing.
And he even provides techniques for creating energetic shields.
Oh, interesting. Like psychic shield.
And affirming our sovereignty in these realms.
Okay, so it's like having a safety protocol for multidimensional exploration.
Exactly.
That's reassuring because it does sound a little, Wild West out there.
Yeah, it can be.
So it's good to have some tools in your belt just in case.
Absolutely. And Buhlman emphasizes that the more we understand about these realms, the safer and more rewarding our explorations will be.
Knowledge is power.
He encourages readers to educate themselves, experiment with different techniques, approach these experiences with a balance of curiosity, caution, and a good dose of humor.
Humor. Okay, now that's interesting. So, don't take it all too seriously.
I mean, why not? If you can keep your sense of humor in these situations...
I guess it couldn't hurt.
It might even be helpful.
So even when you're encountering, beings of light or whatever's out there, it's okay to have a laugh.
He seems to think so. Yeah.
All right, noted. But I have to ask, with all these wild experiences, did he ever think maybe it was all just, in his head?
He did grapple with that question himself, especially early on.
Yeah, I bet.
But he talks about how the clarity, the vividness, the consistency of these experiences, combined with the insights he gained, convinced him that he was tapping into something far more profound.
So it wasn't just like a dream or a hallucination. It felt real.
Than just his imagination.
And these insights he's talking about, did they actually change anything for him in his life?
He describes these experiences as being realer than real.
Realer than real, wow.
And the insights he brought back had a tangible impact on his life.
Okay.
Relationships, his entire worldview.
So he was changed by these experiences.
And it's like he went from skeptic to believer to full-on explorer.
That's quite a journey.
It really is.
So what was the point of all this? What did he see as the ultimate goal of these out-of-body explorations?
He believed that the ultimate purpose of OBEs wasn't just to have these cool experiences.
Oh, okay, there's more to it than that.
Or to prove that there's life after death.
Right.
But to expand our consciousness.
Expand our consciousness.
To connect with our true nature, recognize our interconnectedness with all things.
That's beautiful.
And he saw these explorations as a path to spiritual awakening.
Spiritual awakening.
A way to access higher realms of knowledge and wisdom.
So it's not just about escaping reality, but about discovering a deeper, more expansive version of reality.
Exactly. And he suggests that these experiences can help us to tap into our full potential as human beings.
Interesting. To live more fulfilling lives.
To live with greater awareness, compassion, and purpose.
So it's about bringing those insights back into our everyday lives and actually, using them.
Exactly. And he believed that as more people begin to explore these realms consciously, our collective understanding of reality will shift.
Oh, interesting.
Leading to a more compassionate, interconnected, and enlightened world.
So it's like a ripple effect.
Yes.
One person's exploration can impact the whole.
That's the idea.
That's a pretty amazing thought. But, we've been talking about all this amazing potential, but did he ever worry about the ethics of it all?
That's a really important question.
Yeah, because you're dealing with, other realms, other beings, potentially. It seems like there's a lot of room for things to go wrong.
And while he doesn't delve too deeply into the ethics of non-physical exploration in this particular book, he does emphasize the importance of approaching these realms with respect, humility, and a sense of responsibility.
So, don't just barge in there like you own the place.
He suggests that our thoughts and actions in these realms have consequences.
Just like they do here.
Just as they do in the physical world.
Right.
And he advocates for a mindful
Yeah.
and ethical approach to OBE exploration, recognizing that we are guests in these realms.
We're visitors.
And we should treat them and their inhabitants with respect.
That makes sense. It's like take only memories, leave only footprints, but in this case it's more like take only insights, leave only good vibes.
Exactly.
Right.
He believed that these realms are not ours to conquer or control, but to explore with a sense of wonder, curiosity, and a deep respect for the mystery and majesty of consciousness itself.
It's about approaching it with a sense of awe and reverence.
Exactly.
Not trying to impose our will or exploit anything.
And I think that's a really important point to keep in mind.
It is.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of it all,
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's about respecting these realms and the beings that exist there.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the how and the why of out-of-body experiences, but what about the what now?
Now, okay, I like that.
What happens when we bring those experiences back into our everyday lives?
Yeah, because it's all well and good to have these amazing experiences, but what do you do with them?
And that's where the real work begins.
Okay.
Buhlman emphasizes that the true power of OBEs lies not in escaping reality,
Right.
but in integrating the insights and awareness gained from those experiences into our everyday lives.
So it's not just about having cool out-of-body adventures, but about applying those experiences to become more awake, aware, and engaged in our physical lives.
Precisely. He suggests that these experiences can help us to live with greater purpose, compassion, understanding, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, and the limitless potential of consciousness itself.
Okay, so how do we do that? What are some practical steps we can take to integrate these insights?
He challenges us to become active participants in our own evolution, embrace the unknown.
Oh, I like that.
Explore the uncharted territories of our own being.
He makes it sound like an adventure.
It really is an adventure, and
Yeah.
it's one that's available to all of us.
If you're willing to take the leap.
Exactly.
But where do we even begin? I'm intrigued by all of this, but I'm also a little overwhelmed. Where do you even start?
He provides a variety of techniques for inducing OBEs and developing our non-physical awareness. But he emphasizes that the most important ingredient is a sincere desire to explore, to learn.
So you have to actually want to do this. It's not just about curiosity.
And to grow.
Right. It's about personal growth.
And he suggests starting with simple practices like keeping a dream journal,
Right.
practicing meditation or mindfulness,
Those are good practices anyway.
and consciously cultivating a sense of curiosity and wonder about the nature of reality.
So it's less about mastering complex techniques and more about cultivating a certain mindset and openness to the unknown.
Exactly. Buhlman believed that the journey of self-discovery and consciousness exploration is a deeply personal one, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Everyone's journey is going to be different.
He encourages readers to experiment,
Right. Try things out.
to be patient with themselves, trust their intuition as they navigate this fascinating,
Yeah.
often challenging terrain.
It's not always going to be easy.
But it's definitely worth exploring.
So it's about the journey, not just the destination.
And that's what makes it so exciting.
This is starting to sound less like a fringe pursuit and more like a fundamental human exploration.
I think it is.
We're all explorers at heart, just waiting to discover the uncharted territories within and beyond ourselves.
And that's a perfect way to describe it.
It's about pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible and expanding our understanding of ourselves and the universe around us.
And that's what Buhlman's work ultimately invites us to do.
To take that leap of faith and explore the uncharted territories of consciousness.
Okay, I have to say, all this talk of exploring other realms is giving me a serious case of wanderlust, but also a touch of, I don't know, trepidation.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like, where do you even begin to map a territory that exists beyond the maps, you know?
Right. And that's a really crucial aspect of Buhlman's work.
Okay.
He stresses that we're not just passive tourists in these realms, we're active participants, co-creators even.
Okay.
He challenges us to step into our power as conscious creators.
So we're not just finding these doorways, but we're shaping them too.
Exactly. He talks about how he would try to change his appearance while out of body, even fly through objects.
What, like a ghost through a wall?
This sounds crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his experiences suggest that the limitations we encounter in these realms are often, self-imposed.
Based on our beliefs and expectations.
Exactly. He kind of blows apart those limitations.
So what did these realms actually look like? I know he mentioned parks, cities.
Right.
Was it always those familiar forms, or was there something stranger?
He describes this really fascinating progression.
Okay.
The deeper he ventured into these realms, he noticed that physical objects, they kind of became less solid, more translucent, almost vibrating with energy.
Oh, wow. So it's like reality itself became more fluid, less dense.
That's a great way to put it. And within those swirling energies, he started seeing these incredible landscapes of light and color, geometric forms, and beings of pure energy that defy description.
So less like our world and more like something completely other.
Exactly. And he believes that these deeper realms operate according to a different set of rules.
Okay, so time and space are fluid.
Totally different.
Thoughts become tangible, that kind of thing.
It's like stepping into a Salvador Dali painting, only it's not paint, it's pure consciousness.
That's an incredible image. But it also makes me wonder, if thoughts are so powerful in these realms, was he ever worried about, accidentally manifesting something unpleasant?
The anxieties of a conscious creator.
Right. Like, what if you're thinking about, I don't know, your dentist appointment while you're exploring a thought-responsive environment? Do you suddenly find yourself surrounded by giant molars?
Okay, first of all, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And second, it's a valid concern. While Buhlman doesn't talk about molars specifically, he emphasizes the importance of going into these realms with a positive and focused mindset.
Right, because our thoughts and emotions act as that energetic signature.
Exactly.
We attract what we put out there.
So if you approach these realms with fear, you're likely to have a scary experience.
And if you approach it with wonder and excitement,
you're more likely to have an amazing, mind-blowing adventure.
Okay, I like those odds. But he did have that creepy encounter in his bedroom.
Oh, right, with the man in his room.
That was pretty unsettling.
Yeah, that was definitely one of his more intense experiences.
Did he talk about encountering any other beings that weren't so friendly?
He did mention a few other unsettling encounters.
Like what?
He described feeling this sudden shift in energy, like a darkness descending.
Oh, that's creepy.
Or a sense of being watched.
Okay, now I'm getting chills.
Even encountering beings that seem to radiate this, negative or draining energy.
Okay, I am officially spooked now.
Yeah, it's definitely not all sunshine and roses out there.
Yeah. But he did say that fear was often the biggest danger in those situations, right?
He could have learned that by reacting with fear, he was actually giving these beings more power.
It's like that scene in every horror movie, don't go towards the light.
Right, except in this case, it's more like don't go towards the fear.
Exactly. So how did he deal with those encounters? Did he have any advice?
He talked about a few different strategies.
Like what?
Surrounding himself with protective light.
Okay.
Affirming his own sovereignty, his own power.
Right, like, you don't have control over me.
And this is going to sound strange, but he even talked about using humor.
Humor? Like cracking a joke to a shadowy, interdimensional being? That takes guts.
It sounds crazy, but he said it often worked.
Really?
He believed that laughter and joy have a very high vibration. And by shifting his energy in that way, he could neutralize the threat.
So never underestimate the power of a good dad joke, even in other dimensions.
Exactly. But ultimately, he emphasized that we're not victims in these realms.
Right, we have a choice.
We're conscious creators with the power to choose our experiences, to set boundaries.
And it sounds like he learned to really own that power.
He did. He learned to approach these realms, even the challenging parts, with a sense of, playfulness.
Playfulness?
Like it's an adventure, it's a game.
Wow, that's a whole different way of looking at it.
It really is. And that's what makes Buhlman's work so inspiring.
It's not just about proving that these realms exist, about showing us how to navigate them consciously.
And how to bring those experiences back into our everyday lives.
But live more fully, with more awareness and connection.
Exactly. He challenges us to become explorers of our own inner universe.
And to question everything we think we know about reality.
And maybe, just maybe, to discover that reality is far more wondrous and mysterious than we ever imagined.
And that's a journey we can all embark on.
Absolutely. It starts with a single step, a single question.
And perhaps a good sense of humor.
Definitely a good sense of humor. That never hurts.
Well, I think it's safe to say we've gone way beyond dipping our toes into this topic. This has been a full-on deep dive into the mysteries and possibilities of out-of-body experiences.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, from the science to the spirituality, the techniques to the transformative potential, we've explored it all.
And hopefully spark some curiosity along the way.
Because ultimately, that's what Buhlman's work is all about. Igniting our sense of wonder and inviting us to explore the uncharted territories of our own consciousness.
To remember that the greatest adventure of all might be the exploration of our own being.
And with that thought, we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries we've uncovered today.
Until next time, keep exploring.